What's up, guys? Army-Firedawg back again, and today I actually have the review time of the Aune Audio M2. This is their current offering for their digital audio player, or DAP, whichever you want to consider it. It's pretty much a higher-end MP3 player, like the iPod, for example. It's just a higher-end version of that. So without further ado, let's begin. And of course, I like to start with the construction of which. The construction of the Aune M2, if you remember from the unboxing video, is quite solid. Like it has a wonderful weight to it, it feels good, it doesn't feel cheap in your hands at all, and the overall build to it is very, very smooth in your hands. So if you were to unfortunately drop it, I have very little concerns of it breaking, which is good. I still recommend take care of it, of course. Now, on the top, you have your power button here. It's you hold it down for about 3 seconds to turn it on and off. Your volume control here, which is amazingly sensitive. You have a ton of volume options. Like, there's not been one time have I ever been listening to this where I was like, man, I wish I had that halfway point where one step up is, or one level higher is too high, the next one down is too low. Not once. I had ample selection of this. Also further down is your single micro SD card slot, which this kind of gave me a bit of trouble actually. So this thing is registered to have a max memory of 128 gigabits, but it cannot be a format, at least in my experience, so this is kind of a asterisk next to this only. It has to be FAT32 format. That's the only format I was able to get to work. I tried 2 separate 64 gigs SD cards. I've tried 3 different formats of those micro SD cards. Not one time would it work. I got nothing but a read TF fail. So a simple fix to that, I actually had to go to the electronics shop close by and buy a 32 gigabyte memory card. I haven't had any issues since, which is FAT32 is the format. Do bear that in mind. Now, the functionality of it, which is actually something I look for almost more than I do the construction of it. Because how easy for me to be able to scroll between the options. For, like, say I have a song in the B's. I'm listening to a B song currently, and I want to listen to the song in the R's. There's no way of me going back to the menu and just being able to go down to the R's. There's no version of that. You can only go to folders. Like I said, I have folders of all the artists. Let's say I want to listen to a song, and I'm not sure of which artist it is. Well, I'm SOL, because I would have to click right here, just keep clicking and clicking and clicking until I get down to the song I want to from the song I just was. If you remember from my Shanling M2 review, that was an issue I had just with it too, and I still have those same feelings about it. I feel it should be a very simple software fix. The iPod Classic had this setting in it. Back when the iPod Classic first came out, if you scrolled fast enough, it immediately brought up A, B, C, D, E, F, etc. So you can quickly get to the start of the song you wanted. I don't know if that's an Apple patented thing or not, but it's a simple software fix. I feel should be simple. Fellow Headfire told me what he found is to have every song he wanted alphabetically listed in folders, which is a good idea, but I don't want to organize over 1,400 songs, or actually even less than that, because I have a smaller card from a 200 gigabit SD card on my phone down to a 32 gig, so I would have to re-folderize all of that. I shouldn't have to do that. The sound quality, in all honesty, is exactly what I expected. For those who don't know, the Aune M2 retails for right about $350, depending on where you shop from. For that price range, I was expecting a certain amount of amplitude in the amp quality, DAC cleanliness to it. And I was given every one of those quite respectably. So, in that regard, I feel the sound is very spot on. But to get more kind of in depth to it, the headphone I use primarily when I'm reviewing an audio gear is my Bowers & Wilkins P7s. They're the headphones I've had the longest. I've put well over 1,000 hours onto those, actively listening to them. So I have a very good idea how they sound, how they perform, and any alterations to that sound. Now, like with the Shanling M2, the Aune M2 it didn't alter the sound any that I could tell, but it did accentuate this already given sound signature of the Bowers & Wilkins, which is exactly what I was hoping for, so what I look for. When I want a portable audio player, I found the headphones I want. I found the audio signature I want in the headphones I've purchased. I want my music player to do nothing but reproduce the sounds accurately with providing as little bias to the music as possible. I want to be very transparent, in other words. That's what I'm looking for. The Aune M2 provided that beautifully. I expected no less. So, the amp powered whatever I threw at it, whether it be my Bowers Wilkins, Sony's, Sennheiser HD 650s, or as less as my custom Empire Ears Hermes, or the Empire Ears Zeus, or the entire Empire Ears lineup. It just so happened I felt both of those were products. I've had them at the same time, so I was able to listen to them together. On that note, for those of you who are probably well aware, every time I mention the Hermes, it's corresponding with hypersensitivity. They are extremely sensitive. So unless there's a very quiet DAP or source, you get a notable hiss. And unfortunately, it was very minimalized or minimalistic, but there was still hiss with my Hermes. I still heard it. This was fixed with my Ultimate Ears buffer jack I used, but it was still present nonetheless. But going back to the sound real quick, I will say the bass, however, I feel if it got a bit more tighter, I felt the bass was a little bit more controlled. I'm not sure if this is the amp corresponding to that or the 4490 flagship DAC that is equipped in the Aune. I'm not quite sure, but the bass was notably, it was better. I enjoyed it a lot more on the Aune than I have with either my LG V10, which has the ESS Saber amp and DAC into it, which is very impressive for it to be a mobile platform. And that has been my current standard. Now, to sum up the review of the Aune M2, is price for quality. It is a very solid purchase for those looking for a portable DAP. It has a great build to it. Wonderful, wonderful build. Does not feel cheap. Actually, I would say it feels more expensive than what it actually costs, which is about $350, depending where you want to search. The sound is exactly what I expected, no more, no less. I expected a certain sound, and I got delivered very, very well. There was a couple drawbacks with the SD card, but for those of you who are good with formatting or can just purchase a already formatted at FAT32, 64, or 128 gigabit micro SD card, no problem at all. Have at it. But that's actually it for my review of the Aune M2 digital audio player. If you like the video, please hit that like button. I greatly appreciate your support. As y'all can see, I have been extremely busy this week, and I still have a lot more to come. But if you have any questions about the Aune DAP, the Empire Ears lineup, the CanFest that we had last weekend, anything else, please hit me up in the comments, guys. I reply to everyone, and I love talking to you guys. Lastly, if you really enjoy the content or like looking at this pretty face, or hit and smash that subscribe button, guys, and keep yourself on the field in. But as always, my name's Army-Firedawg. It's been a pleasure, but most importantly, everybody, please stay safe.